I don't know how to explain it, but I've always felt a connection to London before I'd ever even been there. And I don't know if that even makes sense. Does that make sense? My great, 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 great grandfather and grandmother were married at St. Martin in the Fields Church next to the National Gallery. But when I went to St. Pancras Old Church, which is where their son was married, my great, great, great grandfather, when I stepped foot onto the grounds, I burst into tears. And I don't know why, but it was like I had been there before. My mom asked me a couple of days ago, why are you going back to London? You've already been there twice. Haven't you seen everything already? No, Mom, I haven't. I've barely scratched the surface. Hi, good morning, friends. Today's the day. I am headed to London today, and I'm very, very excited, but I'm also a little nervous. I don't really know why I'm nervous. It's a very, very easy 10-hour direct non-stop flight from Phoenix, and there's no need for me to be nervous. I've done this multiple times, and I am though. I'm hopeful that everything goes well here while I'm away. I had a good meeting with my ex-husband yesterday. He and my son are building this guest house, and it's supposed to be finished when I return in a few weeks. So yeah, I think everything will be fine. I always get kind of jittery right before a flight. It's not quite 5. I've been up since 3. I'm an early riser, so I usually get up around 3 a.m. And yeah, I just like the quietness. My parents don't understand my love of travel. They are very much homebodies. They don't like to go anywhere really. The fact that they come out and visit me in the wintertime as snowbirds speaks volumes. We never really went anywhere or did anything when I was growing up, and they're perfectly content with that, which is fine, but they don't relate to me and how I really enjoy going places. And so my mom asked me a couple of days ago, why are you going back to London? You've already been there twice. Haven't you seen everything already? No, Mom, I haven't. I've barely scratched the surface. There's so much to see, and that's just in London. I can't even wait until possibly next year when I can actually venture out and see more of the UK, not just London. So there's just so much to do and see, and my friend who is meeting me there lives in Europe. She is from the United States, and she moved to Europe a year ago to teach, and she renewed her contract, so she'll be there for another year. And she has flown in and out of London, but she's never experienced London. So I'm gonna show her around to the best of my ability. I'm not a tour guide, of course, but there are some things I definitely want to go back and see again. I'll be checking out a few other areas that we never got to in the years past when we've been there. I'm very excited about this trip. Last October, my kids and I went to London, and this was supposed to have been like a little bonus trip for my son completing the guest house. When I booked it, I always book it like 6 months in advance. I can't do last minute travel as I have to plan it out. And so I booked the trip as a reward, a little bonus for my son completing the guest house. And then of course it took longer than we originally anticipated, and we're still not finished, but hopefully it'll be finished while I'm gone right now. My dogs are playing back there and they're making a lot of noise. I don't know how to explain it, but I've always felt a connection to London before I'd ever even been there. And I don't know if that even makes sense. Does that make sense? I can trace my paternal ancestry back 4 greats. My great, 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 grandfather and grandmother were married at St. Martin in the Fields Church next to the National Gallery. And that was surreal visiting that church and knowing that they were married there. For how busy it is in Trafalgar Square, this is a place of solitude and respite. But when I went to St. Pancras Old Church, which is where their son was married, my great-great-great-grandfather, when I stepped foot onto the grounds, I burst into tears. And I don't know why, but it was like I had been there before, which, as far as I know, I haven't been. But it just felt like I had been there. And I didn't have that same reaction when I went to St. Martin in the Fields, but when I went to St. Pancras Old Church, oh my goodness, it was incredible. And I definitely want to return. So that's something that's on my list this time. Have you ever had such a reaction to a place, like you have felt like you've been there before even when you haven't? Or am I just an oddball? Just a short walk away from King's Cross and St. Pancras stations is this beautiful old church, literally called St. Pancras Old Church. And this is where my three great-great-great-grandparents were married. I sent my kids inside so they wouldn't see me bawling my eyes out. I don't even know why I'm so emotional. I should be excited, and I am, but I am very emotional about being here. Something I'm not doing when I'm in London is I am not taking my umbrella. I have taken an umbrella the last 2 times I've been there. I have carried it around with me. I have never had a need to use it. Now this time it may come and bite me in the butt because it'll probably rain on me. But if that's the case, I welcome it because I live in the desert and I would love to be rained on. Oh my goodness, you guys, what is that in my eyes? Oh my goodness. Oh, it's the sun. If October is the wettest month in London, y'all are gonna turn into a desert like where I live, because we have not seen any rain, and it's very sunny out. Well, that's enough jibber jabber. I need to do some stuff around the house, and I'll catch back with you when we're getting ready to leave.